There was a city in the ancient world where weakness was not tolerated, a city where boys were turned into warriors or left behind. That city was Sparta. For centuries, Sparta stood at the top of the Greek world. Its army was feared. Its soldiers were unstoppable. They were not just trained for war, they were built for it. And for generations, no one could defeat them. No one. Until one man changed everything. Epaminondas. Epaminondas was born in the city of Thebes in the 4th century BC. He wasn't a king, he wasn't rich, he didn't come from power, but he had something far more dangerous, a mind that questioned everything. While others trained their bodies, Epaminondas trained his thinking. He studied philosophy, he embraced discipline, balance, and logic. Influenced by the teachings of Pythagoras, he saw the world differently. To him, war was not chaos. It was structure. It was calculation. It was strategy. At the time, Greece was not a single nation. It was a collection of independent city-states. But in reality, there was one dominant power: Sparta. Sparta didn't just lead, it controlled. Cities like Thebes were forced into submission. Their freedom was limited, their pride suppressed. But Epaminondas refused to accept this reality. He believed something radical. Sparta could be defeated. Greek warfare followed strict traditions. Armies lined up evenly. Phalanxes met head-on. The strongest troops held the right flank. Predictable, structured, repetitive. And that was the problem. Epaminondas realized that everyone was fighting the same war, the same way. So he asked a simple question: what if we don't? (371 BC), Battle of Leuctra. On one side, Sparta, experienced, disciplined, undefeated. On the other, Thebes, outnumbered, underrated, overlooked. But they had Epaminondas. Instead of matching Sparta formation for formation, Epaminondas did something unthinkable. He broke the rules. He reinforced his left flank massively, stacking it deep, nearly 50 ranks. At the same time, he weakened his right side on purpose. This wasn't just risky, it was revolutionary. Because while Sparta expected a balanced fight, Epaminondas delivered a concentrated uda, a hammer strike, right at their strongest point. As the battle began, Sparta advanced with confidence. They had done this 100 times before. But this time, they met something different. The Theban left flank surged forward like a tidal wave. Dense, focused, relentless. And then, the unthinkable happened. Sparta broke. Their king, Cleombrotus I, was killed on the battlefield. For the first time in history, Sparta was not just defeated, it was shattered. At the heart of Thebes' army was an elite force, Sacred Band of Thebes, 300 warriors, highly trained, highly disciplined. But what made them truly unique was their bond. They fought alongside the people they loved most, partners, companions, lifelong allies. And that connection made them fearless, because in battle, they weren't just fighting for victory, they were fighting for each other. After Leuctra, everything changed. Sparta's dominance collapsed, and Thebes rose. But Epaminondas didn't stop there. He marched into Messenia, a land that had been under Spartan control for generations. The people there had lived as slaves for centuries. Epaminondas set them free, not as conquerors, but as liberators. This wasn't just a military victory, it was a political revolution. 362 BC Battle of Mantinea. Once again, Epaminondas stood on the battlefield. Once again, his strategy worked. Victory was within reach. But fate had other plans. In the chaos of battle, he was struck by a spear, a mortal wound. As he lay dying, his soldiers gathered around him. They told him the battle was won, that Thebes had prevailed. He asked one final question: "Did we win?" When they answered yes, he replied, "Then I have lived long enough." And with that, one of history's greatest minds fell silent. Epaminondas was not a king. He didn't build an empire, but he changed the rules of war. His innovations shaped military strategy for generations. Even great leaders like Alexander the Great are believed to have studied his methods. Yet today, his name is not as widely known. And maybe that's the greatest irony of all. A man who reshaped history, almost forgotten by it.